Hey guys, what's happening? Quick update on the Boker Epicenter. I carried it, I used it for some basic tasks, nothing too crazy. Light cutting and things like that. I've opened it and closed it, I've played with it. Nothing excessive, you know, I didn't obsessively open it and close it or anything like that, but, you know, I played with it as us knife people tend to do. And it has developed the lock slip problem. Well, if you want to call it a problem, that's up to you. But see if we can see it here. Yeah, you can see how it's moving out of place, hopefully. See how it pops out of place. So, not lock rock, it's lock slip. So when you put negative pressure on the blade, because of that radius on the lock face there, it's hitting such a steep angle. If we can get some focus. It's hitting a steep angle, and so it causes it to pop out of place. Now, I don't think it's going to fail, because basically with these radius lock faces like that, it hits the steep angle as it wears in, and when you put negative pressure, it makes it slide kind of back to where it started, but where it stops, it's hitting a fairly flat area. So it's not like it's going to fail, it just, you know, rattles back and forth. If you do this kind of test that people do, where they hold it like this, you really can't put enough pressure on it to make it slip. You've got to, you know, you've got to grab it fairly stoutly. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. I still don't feel that that's a death sentence. I mean, for $100 Todd Rexford design with VG10 steel and full titanium handles, you know, it's not like it's an actual fail on functionality. There's many users out there that would never even notice lock slip. It's still very, very serviceable as a knife. It's going to cut just fine. It's going to, you know, function just fine in terms of staying locked, opening, closing, and things like that. But be aware that my story is no different from most other people's. It did develop lock rock, which I figured it would. My only concern is that it developed it rather quickly. This lock bar wore in pretty quick. And it could just be the contact point was very minimal, and so it wore in fast. But my worry is that if this is in fact cast titanium instead of milled titanium, that may have something to do with it. That this titanium may be a little softer than, you know, regular titanium, which in and of itself is pretty soft. But I don't know. I don't have anything to corroborate those claims. Collaborate. Coagulate? I don't know. So, you know, take it for what it's worth. That's where I am at. Fairly quickly, it did develop lock slip. But I'm a big advocate of keeping things in perspective. And, you know, lock slip is really, I don't think it's as big of a deal, assuming that it's not full failure. I mean, obviously a knife that the lock completely slips and the knife fails and closes, that's a big deal. But lock slip on a radius tang like this, that's kind of how it was designed to function. And it's, you know, it's kind of the negative aspect of the good things that a radius lock face provides. So, you know, I think people tend to go overboard. And the second their lock slips at all, you know, it's a piece of crap junk that's not worth anything. And I don't know. That's just my opinion, though. It's up to you to form your own. But I still think it's an excellent deal and a really cool knife. Lock slip or no, it's still really nice. And I'll continue to use it and carry it and get back to you guys if it develops any more problems. Oh yeah, by the way, I did take it apart and try to put a little bit more lock tension on it by bending this lock bar in further. It did lock up a little better. It still slipped, not quite as much, but it threw the blade really off center and increased the detent back to kind of before I made my modification to it. Made it kind of hard to open and really just made it stiff and hard to unlock too. So you know, it kind of helped with one problem but created a few others. So definitely didn't completely solve it. So I actually bent it back to where it was before I made that change. All right, guys, that's it. Just an update. Take it easy. I'm out of here.